Hey, what is going on, everybody? My name is Payne and welcome to another anime review video. So recently, I've been on a binge through a lot of recent shows, especially ones that have started out this year, shows such as Hinamatsuri, or Comic Girls, or the most infamous one, Darling in the Franxx, because I keep seeing what's her name everywhere. 02, that's her name. I keep seeing 02 everywhere. And everyone's saying a couple of things about it. First, it was really good, and second, it's very similar to Neon Genesis Evangelion. And let me respond to that by saying, number one, yeah, it's pretty good. And two, yeah, it is very similar to Evangelion, but this isn't a Darling in the Franxx review, or at least not yet. I am halfway through it, and it's pretty good. But this video, I want to start off talking about shows that started this year with something small, something heartwarming, and something that, from what I've heard, tugs on your heartstrings a little bit. Just something to just lay back and relax to. And so, with that out of the way, let's get into the review. And here is Karakai Jouzu no Takagi-san. Karakai Jouzu no Takagi-san, also known as Skilled Teaser Takagi-san, was directed by Hiroaki Agaki, written by Michiko Yokote, who is the writer for other shows such as Cowboy Bebop and Naruto, and was made by the studio Shin-Ei Animation. It aired in the winter of 2018 and consisted of 12 episodes. The show was based off a manga that has produced 8 volumes since 2013 and has then branched off into a couple more manga afterwards, which, as of February 2018, currently has 4 million copies in print and is rising due to the popularity of this show. But enough about the manga, because we all know that there's more information in the manga than in the show. Let's just get into the show itself. And I'm just going to be straightforward with you guys. There's not that much to talk about on this show, but I'm going to put some pretty good detail on the main points of this show. But, you know, just so everyone can get a good idea, I'm going to say exactly what really this show means and what I think this show has. So the show revolves around 2 elementary school students, a boy named Nishikata and a girl named Takagi. In every episode, there's at least 3 to 4 short clips, and in about 85% of those short clips, it all has the same theme regarding Nishikata and Takagi, which is that one way or another, Nishikata tries to tease Takagi back for all the times that she has teased him, only to have her tease him again. That is basically, in a short 10 seconds, what the actual plot of the story is. There is a short breather from the usual story, as there are a few short stories towards the end of the series revolving around 3 of their classmates, Mina, Shin-Ei, and Yukari. We're going to get to them later, as well as some frequent appearances by classmates Mono and Nakai, who are the only group of people who say that they are a couple, and they show up throughout the series in both short stories regarding Takagi and Nishikata, and the 3 other classmates. So first, I want to mention some stuff about each character. First, around Nishikata. The show is based around the mind of Nishikata, as he's always thinking of ways to tease Takagi, either by making a scheme to use on her, or by solving the problems that she gives him. Every challenge that he faces, every puzzle that he confronts makes it satisfying to watch. Mainly because that no 2 obstacles are alike. Each one is distinct in their own way, and they're deceptively simple at first glance, but the more you analyze them, they are dangerously intricate. They are more complex. And boy, does Nishikata analyze everything about all the challenges he faces. As he thinks about what to do next, the show also changes as well. The music changes, the animation spirals out of control, obviously intentionally, and the color scheme changes. To Nishikata, these pranks aren't just normal pranks. To him, they are battles of intellectual variety, epic in scale, with each choice determining his fate, which is the perfect mindset that an elementary school student should have. I think every elementary school student should have that mindset. I don't think it's exaggerating at all. It's obvious that he cares deeply about outsmarting Takagi, which makes it all the more depressing to witness him fall short time and time again. It doesn't matter what plan he makes up, what measures he takes, or what his approach is, the result will never change. He always fails. But if you think about it, it's not even his fault. With his remarkable tenacity, perception, confidence, and cunning, he definitely distinguishes himself as a talented person. Were he competing against anybody else other than Takagi, he would be a pretty good match. However, as long as he remains tethered to his current circumstances, he's always going to be defeated. Sure, he's quite intelligent for someone his age, but for all of his virtues, he pales in comparison to the title character, Takagi. The first word that pops into my head when I think about Takagi is prodigy, which is a pretty interesting word to use because it's a term that's often given to people who don't deserve the amount of praise that they actually have. While in this instance, Takagi is an exception. Not only does she repeatedly trick him with riddles, traps, and decoys galore, but he also manipulates each and every one of her challenges to obscure her true motives in the show. However, it's not just Nishikata that Takagi picks on. On multiple occasions, she tricks her classmates, including the ones that got their own stories later in the series, and in one instance in the show, she is actually able to deceive her own teacher, manipulating him to disciplining someone else for her transgression. If you can do that as an elementary school student to a teacher, you're either one of two things. Either one, lucky because the teacher completely hates his job, or two, very, very, very smart. With each challenge, it's almost predetermined who's going to prevail in the end. On the one hand, this pattern of predictability causes Takagi to come across as someone who's almost entirely defined by the amount of times she has won. While on the other hand, you simply just can't resist watching her mercilessly trick her peers time after time. And with the inevitable outcome of each encounter never going away from the entertainment value that it provides. While it's pleasing to witness how smart she can be, it's in conveying this show's themes where she's really proving her worth. This show is, perhaps more than anything else, a master of subverting expectations. With each issue that arises, the solution is always unpredictable. The show and Takagi itself deceive you into assuming that a challenge would end in a certain way, when in reality, it would end in a completely different way that you would never expect it to. And again, this show emphasizes that Takagi's victories are due to Nishikata overthinking each situation, attempting to uncover the deeper meaning behind it, instead of just choosing the most obvious answer. Through its title character, this show argues that the problems we encounter in life aren't as challenging and as complex as we think they are. Through Takagi, this show argues that if we push aside the details surrounding these problems and simply just examine them for what they are, it'd be easy to find a solution for the issues we face every day. For Takagi, each challenge presents an opportunity for Nishikata to acquire more knowledge as she strives to accomplish that goal. Yes, part of why Takagi teases him is for her own amusement, as she likes seeing him suffer. But the other part is because Takagi wants to see Nishikata mature and grow as a person. This may sound cheesy, but in this case it makes sense. The puzzles that she tasks with him are, if you think about it, crafted out of love. She gives Nishikata a hard time mainly because she cares about him. And this detail really strengthens their relationship and the character development between the two characters. And this is easily one of the biggest strengths in this entire show. But as we talk about later, it's also one of the biggest weaknesses in the show, is the character development through all the characters. When this show directs its focus away from the smoke and mirrors, it's actually a generally sweet and charming show to watch. And Takagi and Nishikata's relationship emphasizes its virtues. On the surface, Nishikata and Takagi, they couldn't be any more different if they tried, with Nishikata approaching every situation with caution, while Takagi is far more direct. Nishikata is naive, while Takagi is extraordinarily perceptive. And while Nishikata is in some cases a workaholic, Takagi is way more relaxed. However, with a closer look, you can see that they're exactly alike. That both Nishikata and Takagi are confident and intelligent individuals that adopt an extremely timid approach to their relationship. Watching them develop more and more into expressing their feelings for one another while supporting each other along the way is easily the highlight of the show. In fact, the central couple's bond is so heartwarming and inspiring that it allows just a normal viewer to overlook the problems this show has, which I'm about to address now. One of the things that they ended up trying to do, but instead, made them look like an ass of themselves, is a really interesting tactic that the director Akagi and the writer Yokote decided that they were going to try out just because. And what they did was that they made fun of the romance genre itself, because this is a romance show, by creating a fake anime and manga called 100% Unrequited Love. It is sometimes used by Nishikata as inspiration for a few of his schemes in a few of his episodes, but it's mainly used as a parody of romance shows. By overloading this show with genre-specific stereotypes, it gives the actual show, Takagi-san, the right to claim that it's different from the other shows in the romance genre, making it more intelligent and self-aware than the rest. Basically, giving the show the right to say, hey, we're different. We're not like any other romance shows. We know what other romance shows are like, and we're going to try and be different. Apparently, while they were saying that, they didn't really pay attention to the supporting characters in the show, because when the show involves its supporting cast, the show resorts to the same old cliches that any romance anime has. So, in the end, they basically just shot themselves in their own foot. I really don't know what Yokote and Akagi were even thinking of when they decided to go to this tactic, but, you know, it didn't end well for them, basically. Whenever this show transitions away from Takagi and Nishikata and towards the people around them, it almost always suffers because of it. And while the supporting cast strengthens the show's image, it also weakens the show's image. With each appearance that the supporting cast makes, it becomes more and more apparent that outside of the central couple, this show isn't all adept into developing its characters, and that is why I say character development is one of the show's weakest points. Because like I said earlier, Takagi and Nishikata, their character development is easily the highlight of the show, while for everyone else, the character development is not that good. And we're going to get into specifically why for each character that shows up in the show, especially the ones I said in the beginning of the video. First, I want to talk about Mono and Nakai, the only actual couple in the class during the show. And while watching them, they are the most dull and lifeless characters I have seen in a while. Mono is the shy character, and is that one character in an anime who's always blushing, always squirming, always stammering about to no end, while Nakai, there's not really much to say about Nakai. He's basically a cookie-cutter character in this type of romance shows. And their relationship has barely any chemistry whatsoever, and even when they try to have chemistry, it doesn't work. And then there are two of my favorite supporting characters in this show, Mina and Shin-Ei, who are also classmates of the central couple, and they serve as the comic relief on the show. The adventures that the pair embark on are filled with memorable jokes and gags, and basically it's just kids being kids, and there are even some cases where some of the stuff they did was pretty funny in my opinion. I think these two are my favorite characters in terms of like a comedy aspect, where you have, again, Nishikata and Takagi for like the romance aspect, these two are for the comedy aspect. Their adventures in the show are meant to represent what the central couple is doing from a different, more carefree perspective, but they come across as reiterations of previous events than anything creative or unique. And this is also a perfect time to introduce to people who don't know what anime is to common anime terms. First, we have Mina, who is known as the Genki girl, also known as the over-excessive girl, the energetic character, really working yourself into a frenzy over just trivial matters and normal matters. And then you have Shin-Ei, who is the quiet one, who is not really doing anything and is silently observing the mess that unfolds around her. And the unfortunate part about it is that even though these two are my favorite characters, the show doesn't let them branch past that. They don't let them branch past, just being an excited girl and just being a quiet girl. They don't branch past that into something else. While all the stuff about the supporting characters is pretty disappointing, this doesn't even compare to easily the worst character in this entire show, and that is Yukari. In the show, Yukari is the smart one, the class president, and the one who tags along with Mina and Shin-Ei, but doesn't take part in anything they do. And for the first few episodes, she fills her role nicely. She was a decent, albeit forgettable character. However, as the series progressed, her personality became much more distinct and not for the better. As Nishikata and Takagi's relationship get better, Yukari starts to get a bizarre feeling of jealousy towards them that over time gradually gets worse without explanation. Instead of further developing this concept by putting in a backstory that explains why she's acting this way, or trying to resolve the matter in general by giving her a love interest, which, it may, albeit it comes out of nowhere, but it makes sense, they decide not to do anything at all, and they actually make it worse which is very, very annoying. What remains in the end is someone with little resemblance of emotion, depth, or rationale beyond this shallow resentment of a character. While the other supporting characters are but walking cliches, Yukari is a caricature, one that symbolizes this show's most glaring weakness, and that is lack of character development in the supporting characters. When Takagi-san strays from its intended course, it's the central couple's chemistry that moves it back into the right direction. Takagi-san is, in part, an elaborate game of chess, a never-ending battle of wits with brilliant strategists on either side. In this case, it's two elementary school kids who can't really admit to one another they like each other. Which also leads this show to be a refreshingly pure and simple tale of romance, a love story mostly unchanged by the convention of its peers. And again, they don't say that they like each other, like a sincere statement. They don't say sincerely that they like each other, but you can feel it. And all of it is secured by the incredible bond between both Nishikata and Takagi. Fascinated with their intellect and awestruck by their passion, you can't resist wishing to accompany them in whatever direction their relationship guides them towards. And for all of that, I'm going to give Karakai Jouzu no Takagi-san a 7 out of 10. And before you do anything, don't let the rating stop you from watching this show. Because I suggest this show for anyone who wants to watch something heartwarming, who wants to watch something sweet, or especially for any couples out there who just like watching anime. I suggest this show for any of you guys. Alright. Screwing with my hair. Jesus Christ. Thank you guys for watching my Takagi-san review video. If you like this video, hit the like button down below. If you want to see more anime review videos in the future, hit the subscribe button on the screen or the subscribe button down below. And if you want to see more anime review videos that I've made, there are videos on the screen, as well as you can go onto my channel and there's a number of anime review videos for you to watch. And once again, guys, my name is Payne, and I'll see you in the next anime review video.